Thank you for submitting these questions. This one's from Katie, a listener of the Medicine Podcast. She says, how do you reignite the fire after years of chronic stress that really affected all aspects of life and our relationship? Being present and feeling more connected. What do you think, babe?
Yeah. Well, we have some different thoughts here. I think they're complementary, but this is the question of relationship, of committed partnership. People who are not necessarily fine, and some people are, but there are a lot of us who are not okay with just existing in relationship together, like roommates, or, kind of the generation of our parents where it's like they're loyal AF. They're going to stay together whether they like each other or not. Our generation is a little more like, no, I want something else. I want something deeper. Mm-hmm. And this is the question. How do we keep the spark alive? We've talked about this on the podcast before, but essentially that's what she's asking. And the reason why the spark goes out in the first place is because #life. Like when she says chronic stress, I know this person, and I won't get too, specific, I suppose, but she's dealt with some health challenges. And during COVID, her job was one of the jobs that was just kind of like let go kind of abruptly. So there was a lot of stress going on in her household and making ends meet and things like that. So that was her chronic stress for years. But also like life is an onslaught of stress every day. Like just the modern life, the never-ending to-do lists, just being a modern human comes with everyday stress, which you could call chronic. And that's really extinguishing to any flame, because you have to get into this rhythm, this sometimes we can get into ruts of daily living in our own life, and then certainly with a partner where every day looks kind of the same, and you've lost that playful flirtiness that you had in your early weeks, months, and maybe years of dating, or even like early in, the honeymoon phase of relationship. And so this is not unique to this person. This is all of us. We get the opportunity to learn the tools and techniques to keep that spark alive, or reignite that spark and tend to these flames on a regular basis. So I think for her, it sounds like they probably both have noticed, I doubt it's just completely one-sided, but, assuming that's the case, I would sit down together and have like a legitimate conversation, not just like passing by each other in the kitchen, like, oh, we need to be deeper, we need to be closer, we need to spend more time together. Like, no. Whether it's at dinner or coffee on Saturday morning or whatever, like sit down and set a container for this very important conversation, almost like turning over a new leaf. We're saying goodbye to the past of this phase that we went through, this cycle, this season of our life, and we are creating an intention together. And I think when you do that, it really does set a new tone, especially if it's coming from both people. So ask each other, like, what are you both going to do to contribute to a new type of experience? And ask each other or say to one another, what I would love for us to do together is blank. And it could be completely different for each person. For him, it might be like, yeah, I want to connect sexually more. For her, it might be like, I want to go out on more dates. I want to read this audiobook together. I want to...
Less phone time.
Like, what do you need in order to feel more connected to your partner? I can't tell you that. Chase can't tell you that. Only you know what you need. Our love languages are different than what this couple's are going to be. So what do you need? Think back on when you felt most connected to your partner. What did that look like? What did that feel like? How were you behaving together? Is there some way that you can bring back some of those things, looking at the thing behind the thing? What was the nutrient that was available to you in those moments? Maybe not the exact like picnic that you went on. We have to go on that exact same picnic. No, it was the novelty of a new hike and having an adventure together or something like that. So identify the thing behind the thing and construct a container and a real conversation about specifically what you are both going to do to contribute to a new way of relating. That's like step one for me.
Yeah, that's really good. Do you have a dream? If you don't, or if you did, it's time for a refresh. Mm-hmm. What makes you excited? And then tell yourself it's possible. Because it is. And I think having excitement and a dream that is greater than the inconvenient feelings, the chaotic feelings, or the charged ones that have been very present through this chaotic period. I like that you talked about putting the past and this, chaotic period of their life to rest. Honor it, accept it, know that it will serve its purpose and has served its purpose, but that you are now closing that period once and for all. It's not that you don't need to think about it. It's not that you don't need to reflect or take lessons from it, but that is a prior way of being, and you're ready to step into something new. An independent life is critically important for the dynamic of your relationship. And so if you're able to think about and begin participating in activities, thought processes, groups, communities that fill you up, if for whatever reason that also crosses over with your significant other, which in many cases, like for you and I, we're very similar in a lot of ways, that fitness and wellness and mindfulness tend to be domains that we both share a passion for, and it just so happens to be that we can participate in them together. But even if that's not the case, I still think that is a critical component to having a strong relationship, is a strong and healthy independent life. If you want to be present and feel connected, which is the quote of the question, you have to be present and feel connected with yourself and in your own life. When you bring that person to the dynamic of the relationship, you'll by default be present and connected with each other. It's pretty cool. And so what's your individual dream? What excites you now? Tell yourself it's possible. Step into the space, the container with your partner. Acknowledge the past. Say thank you to the past and close it. And then step into the curation of what excites me now. What is my dream now? And begin taking steps towards that. Those steps should be fun and exciting. Yeah. It can be, I want to take a vacation in 9 months. It can be, I want to start having more sex, or I want to get in shape. Excellent. I don't give a shit what the dream is. If it gives you that, like, ooh, this is exciting. This is just within, just outside of my reach. Don't put it a mile away. That's out of reach. Like, I want to be a, multimillionaire in 3 months. Rather, right outside your fingertips. Hey, I want to save up $10,000 by the end of the year so that we can decide to do something with that 10,000 or put it away or whatever. Yeah.
Create a dream together. I think is what you're saying, right? Yep. Not necessarily individually. I think we all need an individual dream, of course.
Individual together.
But the dream together will sort of anchor you both to where you have a deeper bond. It's not just about the day-to-day ho-hum getting the to-do list done. There's something bigger than just the individual man and woman or whatever. And so I think just to close this out, leaning into play, adventure, novelty, you will never go wrong. And I think if your life together looks the same every day, day in and day out for the most part, then you're going to feel the stresses of everyday life more than you're going to feel you and him making memories and creating experience and having these really present, beautiful, connected moments. Like, lean into play, novelty, and adventure. And it doesn't have to cost a cent. These things can be free 99.
Yeah. And like you said earlier, pray and move your feet. There's a exercise of having the conversation and articulating what you want, and then step into it through action. Sometimes action is actually release. For me, I'm action oriented, so sometimes I have too many things going on. So the action for me is to start to actually say no, or to in the morning, give myself quiet time instead of getting immediately into work or working out. So it's going to look different for different people, but pray and move your feet. Momentum is really, really powerful. And the first 2 to 3 to 4 times you do something may feel heavier than once you pick up a little bit of speed.
And last thing here, I just looked at her being present and feeling connected. And I thought the fastest and easiest way to do that is eye
I
contact.
was just going to say, put your phone down and look each other in the eyes. When they're talking at dinner, look at them in the eyes. I did this the other night when I was just feeling disconnected because I was tired after a bunch of work and all the bunch of things we were doing. And I was just staring at your eyeballs, and like my whole nervous system changes. And I'm way more present in the space, and it's actually very calming. It's like your partner's eyeballs are a little medicine shot. Thank you so much for listening.
If you enjoyed that, check out right over here for some more fun clips.
Oh, and you're going to want to subscribe.
Bye.